this is a new chart for us, but it's one that I think we certainly want to be cognizant of, which is the fact that if you're buying hot roll versus cold roll versus galvanized or even plate products, the pricing dynamics are pretty different right now. And what I mean specifically by that is it doesn't look like much, but over on the right-hand side, you can see that the price between the hot roll coil index and the cold roll coil index has blown out pretty massively in a rapid way, basically since October. You can see basically essentially a two-year average right around $200 is the normal spread over this time period. Longer term, I would say the spread is typically 110 to 130. We have gone now to close to about 430, 435 is that current spread between hot roll prices and cold roll prices. So what does that mean? That means that if you're a buyer of cold rolled, you're not quite seeing the price declines that we've been talking about thus far. Cold rolled on a relative basis has actually held up pretty darn well. And what that's done is it's caused the spread between the pricing on cold rolled and the pricing on hot rolled to blow out massively. Now, why would that happen? I think a couple of reasons, and I've had some discussions internally on this as well. One reason is it sounds like the capacity for mills to re-roll hot roll steel, to run it back through a cold rolling process, capacity is pretty tight right now. So if we looked at this market, if I were a steel mill executive and I had excess capacity to run steel back through a re-rolling facility, I'd be doing it all day long. I would be looking at any tons of hot roll coil that I had. I would say, let's not put it out in the market. Let's rerun it back through our facility, roll it back through, cold roll it, and collect that spread. Because right now they can probably make an extra $300 to $350 by doing so. The question is, can they? I don't have great intel. I'm obviously not running a mill, but the intel is suggesting that ability is fairly constrained right now. But you can bet every mill executive right now is looking at this chart saying, why in the world are we selling hot roll when hot roll prices are coming down rapidly and lead times are coming down rapidly, which it's worth noting, lead times on hot roll are like 3 to 4 weeks right now, which is really, really short, meaning there's an abundance of availability, or you can get hot roll pretty quickly. Cold roll is a different story. So, if you're a mill executive, you're probably trying to run 24 hours a day, running hot roll back through your facility and selling it out in the market as a higher value added product. So for that reason, and this is a little forward looking, this is just kind of a thought. If that is how it plays out, I would expect that this spread between hot roll and cold roll prices to eventually come back down in the coming months, just because it's a pretty unique opportunity for a steel mill to kind of arbitrage their own business. But the bad news for those who are buying value-added product is you're not quite seeing the price declines that we're seeing currently within hot roll. I think in addition to that, there might be an element of the fact that, crude oil markets have come off fairly hard recently. Hot roll tends to be more related to those markets, whereas cold roll is going to be more related to the automotive market. There are some headlines coming out that automotive is perking up a little bit, that semiconductors are becoming a little more available. So that could explain a little bit of the demand side of the equation as to why cold roll is holding up a little better than hot roll.